Hello everyone and welcome to episode 455 of 10 o'clock. I am MDRLOz, this is Xeno.
Hi.
And we're here to talk along about Warframe. And joyous day that it is, Xeno, before we have a DevStream to talk about.
We do?
Before we do that, as have just appeared on screen, we will start as we start every episode of 10 o'clock. Well, not every episode because we didn't at first, but we try to now, at the very least. Some emblems. So we have
until we took a break.
Well, you took
we took a break. Well, I took a break because it was so hard to find emblems.
Weakness.
You're weak.
Weakness and sloth.
Oh, you're gonna go freaking find. Wait, isn't Barrow here? Oh, wrong relay. Anyway, mine wins.
My Barrow's in another castle. Right. No, it doesn't. How's yours win?
Mine wins.
Yours doesn't
Mine is
win.
So much cooler.
No, it
Mine
isn't.
is so cool. Look how angry that ram is.
You're angry, my skull. I've got a skull. And he's smoking. Do you know how hard it is to find a smoking skull in this day and age?
Is that smoking?
It
Or is that
is
just
smoking.
a pixel? Is that just a miscolored pixel?
What's yours? Is it a goat or is it a dog? Cover the horns and
No,
tell
it's a
me I'm
ram.
wrong. Oh, is
It's
it
a
a ram? Cover the horns
It's
and
a
tell me
ram.
it's not a dog.
No, it would be a dog if you took away the horns.
2022 quote, Xeno says a ram is a dog with horns.
If you took away the horns.
Yeah, if you took away the horns of a ram, you have a dog. I win again.
Yeah.
My guy
Fuck off, you
is
win.
Schwab. He's wearing a suit.
Tell you what, let's let the community vote.
Well,
the
la-dee-da.
decide.
Why don't we? How are we gonna do that now, Xeno?
Well, if you go into the description below, you'll find a link to the Google form where you can win 75 platinum. Simply select the emblem mine that is the best, and you'll be entered for a chance to win 75 platinum if you pick my one specifically. I'm joking. But yeah, if
you better vote
put in
mine,
your in-game
otherwise
name-
you won't be in a chance to win 75 platinum.
But yeah,
Go
you
for
put
it.
in your in-game name, you put in your platform, and you'll have a chance to win 75 platinum. Yeah, that's it. You need more of these, by the way.
Well, you can't force these. If anyone wants to make me a meme about 75 platinum, because obviously I have the alternative of that. See, that one came organically, which was 75 platinum. This one was when you make your first 5 platinum,
sure.
and I just put the 7 on because it works. But if anyone wants to make memes about finding platinum, they will probably go in the 10 o'clock little folder. In fact,
I'm really tempted to make it a random image. So like you just press a button and then a random one will appear. We don't know what's going to appear.
soon you'll be able to make these changes because you'll be in charge of buttons.
Yeah, I will be in charge of
You'll be
buttons.
the man in charge of buttons. But for now, I have buttons, so I will get this to disappear. So that's my job. But soon, well, that's the perfect thing to talk about, isn't it? On Dojo Dusting.
Who won platinum? So,
Okay.
you thought I was going to talk about the other thing.
I
Didn't
thought you were going to talk what you're doing today.
Oh, fine. I'll talk about who won platinum. Right. So for
Today!
PC, we have today. So for PC, we have Mortis 87. PlayStation, we have Coven Ma. For Xbox, we have TD Stranger 101. And for the Switch, we have Thaylien.
The lurk.
Thaylien.
The lurk.
Thaylien.
The lurk of the Thal.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
No. Tha.
Tha.
The look of
Tha.
the Tha.
Tha.
Yeah. Thaylien.
Thalurk.
Yeah. Thaylien. Yeah, so those are platinum winners. And what Loz was actually alluding to was the move that I'm doing. I am planning this to such an extent that it is a completely one-day move. Like, I am paying for a moval company to come grab all my shit that I'm packing away myself. Like, I don't want anyone breaking that. And actually, to be fair, Loz is going to help me next weekend. And yeah, you've agreed to this. Don't lie. You know about it. Did you forget?
He's springing stuff on me on stream, or on recording, so that I have to agree with it now, isn't he? Don't remember any of this. I was coming up to give blood and watch anime.
With the power of blood and anime by my side. Anyway,
I will pack Xeno's things.
But yeah, so I'm moving. Technically, the internet's already been installed in the new apartment,
which is awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I have. So normally it takes 3 weeks plus to install the internet. I had it installed in 2 days, right?
Nice.
Which is completely coincidental because I think basically OpenReach, which is the managing company that deals with all the phone lines and everything, they were just in the area, so they just turned it back on. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to deal with bills and things when I actually move. I don't get the property until like the 14th. I'm moving in on the 17th, and that's gonna have fun antics when it comes to recording shit. So yep, there you go. So then we'll start looking at doing live streams and things. So charity streams, looking to do maybe a charity 24 hours on DevStream. Sorry.
Well, your other option was 24 hours in space.
24 hours in space is significantly more interesting than 24 hours on Deimos.
I can show you the spaces in Deimos I found where you become just invisible.
What, and just hide there?
You just disappear and hide there.
Okay.
There is stream content.
There is a plan to do another 4-hour charity stream at some point. I don't know, maybe Christmas time or something like that. Which time is 24 hours of Elden Ring. So me, Loz, I'm pretty sure I have. Yeah, me,
I'm saving it
for
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Loz is gonna have quote unquote fun. We'll start brand new characters and everything. So I'm just do a charity.
I think there's DLC content to come out for Elden Ring, hasn't it? I saw a video.
DLC content?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was a joke or something. Really? Yeah, I don't know. I saw a thumbnail, man. I saw a thumbnail. It's my limit my knowledge on that.
Okay. I know there was an update recently.
Oh, there you go then.
But anyway, right. So I think that's it for Dojo Dusting.
I will say just one quick thing. I came to a bit of epiphany today, or was it yesterday? I can't remember.
Oh, actually, I do have one more thing. But yes,
okay, cool. That though I am jaded about things, as people may have noticed recently, I am still going to be now, after we've had that dev stream, which was in some ways very long but kind of refreshing, to give some things a bit of a fresh air. It's a new team. Let's give them a chance to do things. Are mainly in focus to accepting the new way, which they kind of alluded to as well in the dev stream. The content is delivered. You won't hear me moaning about content droughts. It just is. I mean, if people are like, oh yeah, we just can't make Warframe video content anymore because there's no content. This is just the Warframe of 2022.
The way it is.
Just got to get used to it. Gone are the days where we get lots of content. So I'm not going to complain about that. I'm going to give this new team, and because they do seem to be trying new ideas and things, so that give them a bit of a fresh, spot. However, they still have to work within the context of Warframe for complaints, which I'm sure I'll put a few complaints at least forward today. It wasn't all perfect, but I just, in some ways, and I can't articulate this very well. Yeah, I want to give them a sort of a new team-ish, new fresh start of not whinging about everything as much. So I'll whinge about some things, but not everything. So yeah, I'm trying to accept. I think my epiphany is basically that maybe the community needs to do some changing now. We need to accept the new Warframe of 2022.
I think the hardest thing, talking about this first, the hardest thing to accept is the massively reduced release schedule, right? And
so you're not going to hear me complain. For instance, as an example, you're not going to hear me going like, "Oh well, in 2014 we got loads of little patches." That's how it was then. Now we just have to accept it. We're getting 3 big patches a year. That's it. That's the kind of style we're going to get from now on.
True, but I don't think we should limit ourselves to not referencing the old
stuff.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just try kind of give them a fair whack that maybe they can make this 3 big content drops a year good in its own way, kind of thing.
I mean, to be fair, I'd be happy with 4, but
it'd be good.
I mean, not. Yeah, I mean, then we can actually go back to 4 Warframes a year as well.
And yeah, but anyway, we're moving forward.
Cool.
Moving forward.
So, and then the last point. So the week of the 26th of September, which is the last week of September, there will be no 10 o'clock. Loz and myself are going away.
Forevermore.
No, just the 1 week. I just said 1 week. The week of the 26th of September.
No, well, you said the week of. There'll be no 10 o'clock, and I'd be like, that's it. That's it.
No, I said the week of the 26th of September.
Yeah, and I'm implying that from that week onwards, there'll be never again. That's it.
Anyway, Loz and I are going to a gaming event, which is
EGX.
You're going to Eurogamer Expo in London. It is 4 days long. We're taking a 5th day. And yeah, like there's just no opportunity to record 10 o'clock. I haven't spoken to Loz about this. I may end up recording CampiCast with Nazeth separately. Because Loz has expressed discomfort, displeasure, disengagement.
You can tell what project he really cares about because he refuses to ever take a day off on it. Doesn't care about 10 o'clock.
No, let's be senpai.
Save me, please.
Anyway, I don't know that that might be off that week as well, but there's an opportunity to do it then. We got the Friday, Monday. Anyway, right. So that is it for Dojo Dust. Oh fuck! You found an emblem. That's all right. He can't get it.
I'm getting it. Wait.
Did you?
Yeah, I got it.
Anyway, so time to move on to the war report.
Whoa, look at that, an emblem coming
Gotta get
soon.
It clean.
Yes, that's clean. It's clean,
sure.
man. It's clean.
Sure.
Clean.
Sure.
It's clean.
Are you gonna hit the war report button or not?
I gotta fudge a few seconds so I can Alt Tab, click on the Nox player. Yeah, man.
How hard is it to Alt Tab and click on the Nox player? Anyway.
What, without making everything minimized, sometimes it can be tricky,
So the war report, we have the DevStream, which we're going to talk about in detail. We also had the Steinax animated teaser video, intro, anime. Well, they called it an anime. So yeah, so that's
it was an animation. Things moved.
True. It did have very anime energy. So
it did have very anime energy.
It did have very anime energy. Anyway, so that was on the YouTube channel. So if you go to youtube.com/playwarframe, you can find the Steinax video. We'll put a link in the description below if I remember. Yes, I think that is it for the war report. I don't think there's anything else.
Oh no,
there's also prime time will be aired this Thursday, which I think is the first prime time as of TennoCon.
We also had the Soulframe's first live streamy thing that came out when the episode of 454 was released. Obviously, we couldn't do anything about it by then, which was short and sweet, and it's just a expanded we're beginning this project sort of thing. It is free to play. It's going to be an MMO. It's going to be group content.
No. I really want to highlight. Steve said, I think it's like MMO alternative or something like that. He didn't, right? So basically, it's got the hub system like Warframe does.
Well, yes, yeah, but I think there's like a main MMO Reddit which counts this as MMO light. I mean, MMO, like this thing. People say MMO when they really mean an MMO RPG, and what does MMO mean? It just means massively multiplayer online. Because what's not massively multiplayer online? Well, a multiplayer online game is where you're playing like 4 against maybe 1 to 4 friends online. That's a multiplayer online game. It's multiplayer. So Warframe is, in a lot of ways, massively multiplayer. Look! I don't even know how many people are standing in that huddle over there. I don't even know how many people are in that huddle. That's a big huddle.
That's fine, but my point is that from that logic, you would count Cookie Clicker as massively multiplayer online.
Then it does become a.
You take StarCraft.
Then it becomes a question. There was an interesting video I think done by Bellio about this recently. I mean, what counts as it? And it's to do things like what Warframe is a lot closer actually, because this has a open player hub where people can communicate and interact without doing the main gameplay, whereas like StarCraft doesn't. So that's why
StarCraft does.
Well, like this
has lobbies.
No, an in-game lobby, not a text lobby. A text lobby does not make a game MMO.
The biggest thing for what counts as an MMO to me is whether or not you can randomly encounter players in any part of the game, right? Not just these sectioned off
In
server
any
log.
part of the game.
Yeah, that's
so WoW is not an MMO.
Why not?
Instance content, battleground content, any limited player
No, I said
area.
any part of the game, not every part of the game.
Oh, you mean sorry. The way you say any could mean that any part of the game is in any of it.
No,
you mean
no.
Any is in there are parts of the game. If there is a part of the game in which there is randomly occurring people.
Yes.
So like Warframe.
When do you get a randomly occurring people in?
When I click a mission, it starts solo, and then random people join into my mission.
No, but a person just go, oh, for the love of God, you're just going to argue with me.
No, I'm not arguing. I'm just saying that it's very hard to define because there are. Because I know maybe I can't always say like Warframe, but there's other example. I know what you're trying to say. You're saying that it's got to have a large open area which feels or is sort of like a world in which you can come across players who will have their own play path, and that your play path can just intersect or even just come near and wage away. I'm not play path. I know is not a great term, but that's the kind of sort of thing I'm using to describe his environment thing. But there are games which don't quite follow. I mean, who cares? We're not here to debate this. Anyway, a great example of what could be like Steve's own language of it is some people would call Plains of Eidolon, Fortuna, Deimos open world, but Steve originally used to call that open environment. So it's its own like kind of thing of it. So if he's saying this is, what did he call it? MMO different or something?
He said MMO alternative or something. He didn't call it just an MMO.
So he does again. He might just not want to be bogged down with people thinking this is going to be like World of Warcraft, and it's going to have its own play interactions and different things. I mean, it's still in the evolution engine, so that's a telling thing. And so it's just going to be different. But so that was an interesting stream from last week. Do check it. Oh, yes, it was last week at the day of a week ago from the release of this, what we're talking about now. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, go check it out on what's the YouTube channel?
I think it's youtube.com/ Oh, no. This...
Play Soulframe?
No, I think this was on Play Warframe because it was also partly the handover with Warframe. They went into more detail and things. There is youtube.com/ Play Soulframe.
Yes, there we go. So that's so Soulframe stuff has begun, and there is starting to be stuff about it. We're not gonna go through those like all the key points they said and dates and things. So we're not doing that. But yeah, do check out that video. Okay, let us move on now to topics.
Yes. I don't think there's anything else.
There's really only one topic, so I'll just push this button and then and then I'll go back and then we'll just talk about it.
Okay, so we have DevStream 163, which is the first DevStream since TennoCon. The new cast of creative leads for Warframe make their first appearance, with Megan leading the show as community director, Rebecca taking a side seat as creative director, Greg is the new lead character artist, Carrie the new art director, and the man, the myth, the legend, yes, Thaylien made me say that, Pablo is the lead game designer.
You didn't make him. He just has to read the teleprompter. He can't improv.
I do. I can't. You know, all of Notice Me Senpai, that's entirely scripted.
Yep.
There's no,
He has a team of writers. He doesn't pay them. He traps them in his basement.
I don't have a basement.
Feeds them on peanuts.
I mean, if it was Anya, that would be waku waku.
That's his excuse. They're to go insane. He just keeps saying that to them. They don't even know who Anya is.
Anyway, in this dev stream, the Deviri Amphitheater returned for the players who were not able to experience it during TennoCon.
And the players who had experienced it during TennoCon.
Yeah, and because no, I mean that was the motivation. But also Rebecca wants people to actually see the little display before they move on to the Veil Breaker on the stream. So she just wanted to show it off. Reb was present in the amphitheater to show off the assets in case viewers weren't able to attend in game. The actual release date for Deviri will be confirmed on a later dev stream. Yep. So I think they did hint heavily that it would be the end of this year.
I think that's their. I can't remember if there was a date at TennoCon, but yeah, that's their plan. I assume. It might slip, but to be honest, I think I'll just release it.
I think it'll be December.
It'll be our December release.
Right. So moving on to Styanax. Next, we had a fully animated intro for the 50th Warframe, Styanax, approximately 5 minutes in length from the studio Passion Paris production, which, according to Thaylien, needs to be experienced. How did you feel about this animation?
I've watched it once on my phone when I was walking home, then I was watching it again, bits and pieces. The animation, for the most part, is really nice, really colourful, really vibrant. I like that it was trying to show something we always love to see in Warframe, which is like a different culture in a different part. I'm not sure where this was. Probably like a different area of Earth other than the Osterons, I assume.
Oh, do you want to hit the asset, because we did get the thumbnail for this?
Did I? Oh, hang on. I'm gonna pause. There we go. I totally remember to do memes. That one.
Yep, there you go. So, yes, you were saying in a different camp other than the
it was really interesting to see the sort of the culture that was going on, how they were celebrating this person one person randomly every year or so would go off into this with this weird man. Like, what did this man mean to the town? Did he look after the town? You know, was he a Orican or was he a Corpus? It was rather weird.
Yeah.
They were dressed as like Corpus with their funny like Corpusy helmets that look like paper mache Corpus helmets. That was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the animation was cool. However, the story just after that just fell to pieces for me, because this guy's big plan was to spend years getting people to off themselves up so he could stick them together into one giant blob thing. I mean, it was. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be nice things. It was comedic. That thing was comedic. That thing didn't feel a threat to. It didn't feel a threat to me because that thing doesn't make sense. The inverse. I mean, like, oh, space over there. The inverse square law means that thing would collapse in on itself. Also, our bodies are finely tuned, like really amazing instruments. They really are. Living creatures. You can't just slap creatures together. I mean, like, how would that thing move? Do some of the people in like the left arm bring their knees up to raise the arm? How does that? That's silly. And then it didn't also make sense that once they all got activated, they then moved on the body, so they weren't completing their parts at the separate sections. It was all visual fluff at that point. And then, because like the brother was like got him in an arm lock, and all the other bodies were going towards the guy. It was comical. As a villain, as a thing, it was just, it didn't make a lick of sense. I mean, I can't get excited by something that doesn't make sense. And we also didn't even get a very good view of it whenever it did movement, because it kept cutting back to the guy's face who was piloting it, the evil guy. So you never got. I wanted a long shot. You needed a long shot where you saw the creature doing a few movements and the Warframe bouncing around a bit to get the sense of scale of the fight. Instead, it was just all looking at one thing at a time. I'm no filmographer or anything, but because of that, it gave cinematography of this thing. It made it very hard to give a scale of the scenario we were in as it was happening.
Yeah.
It was all just, I mean, look at the Warframe doing a bouncy thing. We cut to his face. We cut to a part of the flesh. There was one point, I think, when you did see a sort of a long angle, but the thing had already stopped by then. It was just like, that was my only thing about the animation of that. And then the Warframe was like, no, you keep this random button I gave you, and walks off. And I'm just like, it became style over substance really quickly. It was trying to tell a story, a lot of work though. It was trying to tell a story really quickly. So I liked some of it. Visually, definitely visually, but when it got to the bit of the villain, what would have been better is if the brother was like a spent experiment on a wall, and you saw all the spent experiments, and then there was one, or maybe just like three big guys that had been, or people that had been fused into one big thing. And it was like all of the other things were tests and failures. And you saw how like the brother had the test had fused in with one other person, and his legs had shrunk, but his arm had grown big. So he was imperfecting this enlarging formula. And then the Warframe made all of the rejects come together and climb over the big thing, rather than them being part of the whole. Which just, what was it? And what was his grand plan? I've made the Absorbaloff, the giant Absorbaloff of Doctor Who, because that's what it was, by the way. And I will now what's he going to do with that?
Yeah, it was worse than that, because his grand plan was to originally give it to the girl, and then he decided to change his mind.
You get in my weird Flesh Titan, and what then?
Yeah.
Then I shall have the Flesh Titan.
It's very reminiscent of One Punch Man, where you had the two brothers at the very start, and it's like, brother, there's an intruder on your shoulder, kill him, and he, he accidentally kills himself.
Even in in fact, that those characters probably had the same amount of length of screen time, but we understood why one guy wanted to help his brother, the scientist, and the other guy wanted to be the strongest guy in the world. What was this guy's motivation? I wanted to make a giant flesh monster titan thing. For what end? Why? Why did you want a giant flesh titan? What was the point of it?
It was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the aesthetic. I love the. I was like, is this Studio David? The people that did JoJo? Is this Trigger? It has very similar aspects of both studios. So I actually very much like the animation, the aesthetic, and everything. The lip syncing was actually pretty damn good as well. Which, I mean, maybe it's a bit weird for me to care about that. But yeah, the story was just like.
I'm very sorry. I have to poke you with an in-joke. Was it animated on tubes?
So, fuck off, dickhead. Anyway, but the it's like the only question I have is, what was our villain? Was he Corpus?
Yes.
Grenier? Or Orokin?
Or Orokin pretending to be Grenier? Orokin who had
Archimedean?
Yeah.
Like, who was he? Like, anyway. Do you want to get rid of the asset?
Just don't get rid of the whole thing. No, I'm kidding. There we go. Let's clear that. Clear meme. Pushing the. It's gone. Fine.
Okay, then. Cool.
Right, I think I'm going to give up. I wanted to try 2 emblems. I found 1. I don't think I'm getting any more.
Shall I continue reading the notes?
Of course. There is many notes to read and much time to do it in.
Great. If you log into Warframe during the first 2 weeks of Veilbreaker's release, you can claim Styanax for free as part of the 50th Warframe celebration. After that, he will be available via the conventional means such as grinding or Plat purchase. We're able to see the assets from Styanax's development, including concepts, the Prex card, and work-in-progress models. In Greg's words, the development had an aspect of art imitates art because the animated intro was finished mid-development. So the abilities, and the animations were influenced by, abilities and animations were influenced by it as much as the original design influenced the animation. The frame's design was in progress around July 2021. So, this Warframe's been in the pipeline for over a year. There was one thing I wanted to. Yes, the Prex card. I was really happy with that. They've confirmed Lavarian entry. It's just like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I was genuinely concerned that the Lavarian just disappeared.
Yes,
I was so happy.
It's so good to hit. Yeah. I would have been very disappointed. It's very disappointed if they just kind of abandoned that and it was just going to be that's it. You're not getting any more. We're just not going to use this for lore. It's like no. Please stick with this. It was a decent system.
Yeah.
Got the job done.
Reb showed off some of the gameplay, confirming a Lavarian entry, which I've already spoiled, and a Void Shell skin will be released with Styanax. His abilities at this point are, do you want me to go over them?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. The passive gains crit chance based on the current amount of shields, including overshields. That feels wrong. Like, if he had less, like, it should be inverted. So the less shields he has, the more crit chance he has. Yeah. So, I mean, how the hell are you going to keep that high? Anyway, Axios Javelin. Throw a spear that triggers a small vortex on impact with the surface. It impales enemies and carries them to the impact point. Tharos Strike. A shield bash. Could I just say shield bash? It's just shield bash. There you go. But this did actually cover some of the points about armor, which we'll get to in a moment. Rally Point, a team buff to give passive energy regen and restore shields on kill. And Final Stand, rise into the air and throw a multitude of energy spears at the enemy, dealing damage and proccing slash. So off the comment of armor, Pablo has now confirmed that all abilities that strip a percentage of armor will now strip the same percent of max, not the current amount of armor. So basically, all armor stripping is going to work like Oberon works, because Oberon's best. This updates many frames to make them strip more. Sorry, with this update, many frames will be stripping more percentage armor at base. So I think Oberon was at 33, will now be at 50 percentage. Any of these abilities that were previously duration based are now permanent. So if they're like, oh yeah, you're going to lose that armor for 5 seconds, it's now you just lost the armor. And Mag's damage-based armor strip will not change as it does not deal a percentage. Yeah.
Well, it's a bit odd that there was like 1 or 2 examples that were the additive kind, and they've gone and changed all the other ones to be like the additive kind. It is a bit of a nice thing because it's a buff, but also weird that they did it that way around instead of just getting rid of the one example that wasn't. Also kind of cool that they need to be more. I think more systems should be more consistent like that, so that they all work in that framework. I don't.
I agree. Yeah. No, I completely agree with that one, and I do think that changing it from you're deducting from the current armor to you're deducting from the maximum armor is much better, because it changes it from, oh, I am doing this sensible fraction of armor stripping, like I'm doing half of it, or I'm doing a third of it, or I'm doing a quarter of it, to, oh no, I'm doing a quarter of a quarter, I'm doing a quarter of a quarter of a quarter, I'm doing a quarter of a quarter of a quarter of a quarter. Like it just, I hate the fact that you are having diminishing returns on that. It was dumb.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. Any other points before I move on to other Veil Breaker updates?
No, go for it.
Cool.
Sorry. Yeah, armor scaling is a bit of an interesting, important point. It's going to be interesting to see it, but no, yeah, I've got other points. Just
cool. Veil Breaker update. So this update is to come in September. I missed that. I don't remember them saying that.
I don't definitely remember, but it's in the notes, so we trust. In Thaylien, we trust.
You trust.
I think he is right, though. I half remember that, you see.
Yeah. A quick spoiler ahead. In the loading screen, when showing off Styanax, where the new landing craft is a Grenier ship. I'm wondering if is that going to be just a skin, or do you think we're actually going to get a brand new landing craft, which is a cruise ship?
It's still going to be a skin. I don't think you could take this to
no,
or something.
No, but the Lasats, they actually have special abilities that are associated to them.
Oh yeah, I probably have a special ability, but
okay, cool. So it's going to be a brand new ship. That's what Loz says. Loz confirmed. Right. The update comes with the Veilbreaker quest, requiring you to have completed the new war. Which good. This is the return of Carl 175, who has a new syndicate called Carl's Garrison. This will give us weekly activities, a new currency called Archon Shards, and Archon Hunts will supply these. Can we show off the garrison? Because we've got an asset for that. Nope, the other one. That one. Yep. So we have Carl. We have, I can't remember what that character's name is. It's too small for me to read. I'm just a tiny little window. So
Chipper.
Huh?
Chipper.
Chipper?
Chipper.
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 Chipper. There you go. So again, I mean, to be fair, the nicest thing about this for me was the fact that they're using the drifter camp for something else.
Yes, that actually has a gameplay element to it. It's tucked off in a corner by the looks of it, but yeah, I approve of this. I will actually use the drifter camp. It's not just player housing for no reason. Oh look, people will start using their drifter camps more.
Yeah. So I think this is good. I also like the fact, I don't know if we got a note for it, but they've also improved the load time of transferring from the actual camp to the Lisette. They've reduced it down by 75%, so it's a quarter of the time it used to take. Yeah, so that's good. And then the other thing I kind of really wanted to touch upon was the Archon shards, which again we have an asset for. That's the one. How do you feel about these?
You gonna skip over the acquisition stuff about these, or are you gonna come back to that?
No, let's talk about it now because there's not actually a note for it.
Well, the Archons.
So I'm pretty sure there isn't.
Hmm.
Baker quality of life updates, which takes all the there's the quest. Oh no, I think it comes in later. I mean, if you want, we can talk about this in a bit.
Oh yeah, it's a hell of a lot later. No, let's do this now because these are going to be a interesting point. So I remember, what was it called? There was Echoes of Umbra. There was going to be a cosmetic that would be. They were trying to implement cosmetics that would have effects that we would basically trying to find content that's things they could add to the game that would make us want to play, that wasn't something you just build and forget. Something they need to come up with things that you keep wanting to play for, that have meaning to you, that you'll do missions for. I mean, there is already stuff in the game, but they need more. They always need more. Like even something like Forma. I mean, you don't really, there's no hunger for Forma. I know some people are, but you just wait. It's not the end of the world if you don't have the extra Forma to 3 Forma or 7 Forma, your new weapon. It's like, yeah, well, you just, yeah. And so this is obviously clearly sprung out from that. It's linked to the helmet, as you can see you in the helmet chair when you use it. I like the idea of further customizing your Warframe, and it's going to allow people's build diversity to increase again, because it's just raw stats on this. I'm a bit dubious if there's going to be how buggy it will be. I mean, what's to stop you, say, getting 5 of the better versions of the shards, the Tau Forge shards, and then you just go, I think, armor? It's like each one gives 300 and something armor, so that's what? 15,000?
I think it was 225 armor. Yeah.
So you're over, what? That was 200, that's over 1,000 armor.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
I mean, that's crazy considering, most Warframes go like, what, 300, 400 sorry, 300 to 500 armor.
Yeah.
Right?
Or less,
Yeah. But it's just like
I
add on.
I think most armor is about 225.
I'm pretty sure Valkyr is 300.
Yeah, but she's an armored frame.
Let's have a quick look, shall we? Warframe wiki. Maybe I am wrong. Everyone's just like, Xeno doesn't know what he's talking about. Yes.
No, but we can't remember everything. That's why we do consult the wiki. I have a link open for it when we start each episode, so I can search things. And if I sort by armor,
what the?
So Valkyr Prime's got 700. Valkyr's got. Oh, don't go to the page of armor. Yeah. Valkyr Prime on 700, Valkyr on 600, Atlas Prime 475, Atlas 450, Lavos 450, Savagos Shadow 450, Chroma Prime 425, Groda Prime 400, Chroma 350, Grendel 350, well, and then Nidus Prime 350, then.
Yeah, so there are some.
Yeah, but if you scroll down, the majority is about 175 to 250 is probably the.
Okay.
And there's loads on 100 at the bottom.
Yeah. But even so, if you were to give a Warframe like plus 1,000 armor,
yeah, it's massive, isn't it?
It's huge, especially considering that contributes to damage reduction. Right? I was like, am I wrong in just thinking that that's like the best option for support?
I don't know. Yeah, for support.
Yeah,
maybe like, I'm not. I can't
survivability.
Energy capacity, if that's an issue for you, might be something else you're interested in. But yeah, definitely, I would agree.
Well, I mean, if I was Oberon and it was an opportunity to do power strength, I would 100% power strength, because that means I can make my iron renewal crap ton stronger, which is just, oh yeah, everyone has extra armor.
Mm.
Yeah. But we'll have to see how it comes in. I have a funny feeling that but another part of the problem is like, okay, so we're buffing our warframes to do what?
Yeah, more power. Well, at least the rule comes from a apparently challenging content with the new sorties, how you acquire them. But it's not a great deal. Yeah, you're right. But the other thing that gets me is that, so they're not. Obviously, people, they want to give people accessibility from the start. Sorry, I'm taking his socks off. Yeah. So you'd be able to remove these things for Helmet 3 source. Now, I want to check myself, because obviously maybe I'm not the best example for this. Maybe some people do find it hard to keep their helmet topped up and don't know how to spare Helmet 3 sources, and that the expending of Helmet 3 sources to remove shards will be a big problem to some people. Obviously, we don't know how many helmet shards are required to. Oh no, host migration. The pain. Oh my god, the pain. Sorry. So.
Do you want to take away the asset?
Well, no, because it's to do with this. We're still on this topic.
Fine.
Also, it means I can just mess around in the background. So at the moment, you put the shards in. You can then take out the shards for a small amount, from what I could see, of Helmet 3 sources. It's very interesting to do this kind of thing, because obviously, we give an example. World of Warcraft have had systems like this, and they normally put a very painful restriction on your ability to remove or re-roll, recalculate your points.
Reset your talents.
Yeah, talents. There's also, they used it for the. What were they called in Shadowlands? The.
Order Hall? No, not
Covenants.
Order Halls.
Covenants.
Covenants.
Yeah, the Covenant paths where you could put different things from your stats from your allies in the Covenant.
Right.
And there was limits on that. In Battle for Azeroth, you couldn't reset your Azeroth abilities in your armor it would cost more and more each time and lower in price every day. So if they make this my point is, if they make this too easy, then I only need 5 of Tau forged of each, and then I can just keep moving them around when I play a different Warframe.
Well, how do you feel about the fact that you're getting these once a week?
They did imply there would be other ways of acquiring them.
True, but because they didn't go into specifics, how do you feel about these?
You can get I think it's going to get 1 to 2 of these a week. I don't know, because they didn't describe how you get the Tau forged ones. Is it just you have to get several and you combine them? Is it you get 1 of each to make a Tau one? Is it some other method? Is it RNG? RNG would be painful. Do not make it RNG, please, whatever you do. But if it's
especially on a week-based thing.
Well, let's say it was on. Yeah, exactly. If it was that you had to get 3 of them and you forged them together to make a Tau one, then you're gonna need 5? So you need 15 of each, or 15 of each to get it done. 15 of each? No, 5, 10, 15. Yeah, 15 of each. You need 5, yeah, and then
that's just shy of 4 months.
It's just shy of 4 months. That seems fine.
I would say an RNG of which type you get. So
a little bit of RNG with yellow. So it's at 3,
red.
yeah.
Yeah, so you got a 1 in 3 chance, as long as it's evenly distributed, to get the one that you want. So if everything goes well, we're talking in 4 months.
Yeah, and with a light catch-up, a light restriction mechanic like that, where it's evenly balanced, and then maybe put a thing on Carl where you can spend tokens, which takes you 3 weeks to save up to buy 1, which would reduce the thing of it. Because eventually I would continue to get a few more. So I would try and have 2 sets, because I wouldn't ever want to take my Excalibur. But then if they don't cost very much, I just move a set around. So maybe instead of costing resources to take them out, once you put them in, you can't take them out for you have a thing on the side which says you can take out 5, and if you took out 5, you're now on 0 out of 5, and you get the ability to remove 1 back every 12 hours
on that Warframe.
No, in general, just in general.
So right. So every 12 hours, that ability to remove 5 will refresh.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're talking. You get 1 slot every 12 hours. So in 2.5 days, you'll have all 5 back.
Yeah, maybe that's too much. I don't know. Maybe one day after every day you could unslot 5. Maybe. It's just the key thing here is I think they need to not get to the point that I just have 5 towel things and the cost is just busy work because it's so cheap. And in the end, they just remove it and it's just plug and play. And that because they do this on a steadily slope down. And then 2 years from now, they'll just make it that you'll be able to have one set and you'll be able to equip it to every warframe like you do with mods.
Yeah.
But I would like that they come up with a system they can stick with now, and not a system which is like, oh, but the cost of this is too much for some players. Let's reduce it a bit. Oh, well, the cost is kind of menial now. Let's reduce it a bit more. Oh, let's just get rid of the cost completely now. And then it's just like, oh, well, it's a lot of busy work. So it doesn't cost anything to move these around. So let's just let you equip all the warframes. Like, if that's where we're going to end up, then just start on that. If they're going to go with a clever system, maybe that it's every day you can remove 5. You can like, oh no, I made a mistake on this warframe. I can clear this warframe. And then if you stick another warframe and go, oh no, but now I want them in this warframe today. It's like, well, tough luck. These are a bonus, and you need to put time into thinking about them, not just move them around as you see fit.
I think the biggest thing for me is let's see what they intend to put these in for. Like, oh, therefore, doing Archons. Like, okay, but we're not getting them for like, oh, they're for doing Steel Path, but there's nothing to do in Steel Path. We'll get onto the whole Steel Path Fisher missions later, but it's like there needs to be a reason for why we're doing these, and I hope it's a case of like, oh yeah, you will get harder Archons later, so you need to take these to do the harder Archons later. I'll be 100% fine with that.
If there's more Archons, I would be happy about that, or even variations on the Archons so that they come up with more options per week.
Sure.
So it better just not be, okay, here's the same 3 Archons you fought before that we've made into new fights.
Plus error.
Plus error. Oh yeah, 4. And then we just re-roll them each week. So in a month, you'll see all 4.
Yeah.
It's per week.
I mean, depending on how long it takes them to do this, one would hope that they could just add more to the system. Who would love to see a Necros turtle or a oh no, we already have a rhino. Hildren zebra.
A beaver baroque.
Or a beaver baroque. Or a sparrow Titania.
Or a Titania wasp.
You already said Titania.
Fine then. A Zephyr wasp.
Anyway, so yeah, I think that's our take on those shards. Shall we move on to the rest of this?
Hang on.
What'd you do?
A Caliban crab.
A Caliban crab. Okay. Should we continue with the rest of the notes?
Yes, because otherwise I'll sit here making more puns.
Okay, so Veilbreaker will also come with the long-awaited Protea Caladrius bundle. New Void Shell skins for Nova, Excalibur, Wukong, and the previously announced Styanax, and a new ephemera. I was fine with this ephemera. Most of the ephemeras I find like too obnoxious. This one I was actually perfectly fine with. It was nice and subtle. More augments are being looked at, similar to the last round. Minor updates at most. Last Grasp is being updated to remove the initial drain before you start killing.
Right. Now, before we continue, because I didn't know, even though I am an Unaru player, and I know you didn't know. So do you want me to quickly read out what Last Gasp is?
Yes, do it.
So Last Gasp is a Unaru waybound for your operator. Revive your warframe by transferring to operator and killing enemies before the revive meter drains in 15 seconds. Each fill kills the revive meter by 30%. So it allows transference to be activated during bleed out, summoning the operator who produces a radial shockwave that inflicts knockdown. When entering Last Gasp, the revive meter starts out half full, 7.5 seconds. The meter drains at a rate of 6.76, basically 6.5% per second, regardless of how full the meter is. Because this players can revive in as few as 2 kills if they can get these kills at the beginning of Last Gasp. Cannot be used on warframes with self-resurrect passives such as Naris and Sevagoth. There you go.
Is this a waybound?
Yeah. Passive waybound operator.
Wow, I did not realize I had this.
No, I try and get knocked over, but I don't think it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, I think the majority of players just kill themselves. Just get up again.
I think I have a meme about that.
Right. Okay, so that is it for some of the update info. Next was a big quality of life update thing. So, are you ready for this?
You ready for this?
So, syndicate updates. The syndicates are no longer, the sigils are no longer used to gain standing. They're purely cosmetic. And now you pledge to a syndicate that you want to gain standing with. You simply play as normal and gain standing based on your affinity as if you had the sigil equipped. There was talk about if, like, I was confused by this. I don't know if it was just odd with the, oh god, what's the name of the damn thing? The dev build or something like that. But effectively, when they went to Red Veil or Parent Sequence or New Loca, who hated them, they had the plus 15% buff to, and I'm like, this feels weird. Why would you have that unless you already maxed them out before?
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure if that was just a, oh, this is just hard coded into the UI for now. But yeah, it felt odd. By the way, you're dying. Right. So starter warframes rework. So for example, update to Excalibur's slash dash to make it look more just satisfying, and add slash procs to the damage. Also adding slash procs to radial javelin. All of the starters are getting a stat update to their abilities, where the top rank of the ability isn't changed, but the lower rank versions only have one stat lower. Oh, okay. So, they feel like they're doing more. And what are you doing?
I'm gonna die.
You're trying to die? Why?
Yeah, so I could test the thing.
Oh, okay. How's that going for you?
Not very well.
Anyway.
I seem to have gained things in my chest.
Well, it's because you're banished.
I feel fat.
You're banished. They can't hurt you.
Oh, my team was saving me.
Yeah.
Couldn't let me die in peace.
I mean, save is a strong word. They could have been trolling you. Anyway, Mag is getting big updates to her magnetize, as well as a quality of life improvement for her pull that gathers enemies in front of you, similar to Sevagoth's Shadow Embrace ability. Mag's 3 creates shards from damage dealt as normal, which now hover around you and deal damage to enemies that get close to you. This now synergizes with Magnetize to provide additional damage. I'm not quite I think it was a case of she put down a Magnetized bubble and then Mag jumped into it, or Reb jumped into it as Mag, and then the things detached from Mag and were just flying around inside the Magnetized bubble.
Yeah.
The way Pablo was talking about it, it made it sound like the shards would just instantly leave to go to the magnetized bubble. So Volt gets the least changes, buffing base stats for unranked abilities, reducing base cost of his first ability to 15 energy, updating his carried shield to remove the limitations of energy drain, locking you into secondary, and no longer slowing you down. Volt's speed buff will actually be increased in speed and duration very slightly, though no details were given about what kind of difference we're seeing. It's a 1% difference. Gilding is getting updated, so it no longer affects stats. Everything will be set to gilded stats from base, but you will not get mastery until you gild your weapons. Rivens are getting their capacity changes that were announced previously. So any new Rivens are completely unknown and will stack like regular mods. I think it was a case of you know what the weapon is, but you don't know what.
I think the weapon
like it's a shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know which shotgun until you've equipped it on a shotgun, and then it says, "Oh, it's for this." You will now only see challenges when you equip the ribbon onto a weapon, and will only then will it take up one of your ribbon slots. It's fair to me. AoE is being addressed, and Pablo brought notes and Reb brought videos. AoE is too automated. It's too easy. You can equip a mod and run around shooting your feet, never running out of energy, ammo, or even life support. AoE is too dominant, where it seems as if when you're not using them, you're playing wrong. AoE is disrupting other players, where a player can basically annoy other players by taking all the kills away from them. They actually want to kill things themselves. There is a very long list of changes. Do you want me to go through them?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Wukong is also getting a nerf based on this update too. Currently, the clone can use AoE weapons without using ammo. Soon, clone is only going to deal 50% damage unless you mark a target for it. But to balance, a marked target will take bonus damage. Clone will also use your own ammo pool, meaning that you will no longer be able to automate without actively killing enemies yourself. Clone will also be vulnerable to self stagger if you do not equip Prime Sure Footed. And as a balance to the nerf, Pablo is buffing his 4 with more base damage and restoring a 3.5 meter range buff at max combo. And his slam combo now has a vortex effect on it to pull enemies in. Veilbreaker is also Veilbreaker also brings with it Steel Path level relic cracking. Not only will acolytes spawn for their usual steel essence, any relic you crack will also contain one steel essence, which may make this the best way to quickly farm steel essence, granting any average of 3 per mission. Yeah, unless you do a long running one I can't remember the name of.
Where are you up to?
Just above the Veilbreaker quest.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna finish that off and yeah.
So how do you feel about the fact that the relics are now in the Steel Path?
Well, first of all, can we go back to a few points we had about gilding?
Sure.
Gilding I kind of like because it means that basically we're getting better access to better kit guns. More people are going to be able to be geared up better. It's just for the mastery. I like to see that, and that's kind of cool. Could do more, but well, that's fine. That's addition. Then there was what else? That the ribbon slots, I think is fine because I know it's a database issue, isn't it? That the amount of space these things take on the database, very tricky. They've got to do something. Okay, that's fine. Then AoE being addressed, fine. They seem to be skating around the issue really, rather than attacking it head on. But they said that they're going to give this a try, and then more will be coming, and I think that's positive. But I don't know if there's a difference between. Because the way they do their cert patches is it going to be a case of like, well, we'll do the changes now, and then in 3 months' time, these are other changes we might try. It's like, this is why, and I know I'm being nostalgic, and I promise I wouldn't, but just a little bit. This is why PC used to be kind of good for quick iteration patches. Sadly, we've lost that now, but who knows?
I think I do like the idea that AoE radial damage will no longer have the headshot multiplier.
Yeah,
I do quite like that.
We moan about headshots as it is, so yeah.
But the thing that we don't have a note for, I think, was they are looking at how to address things like primed sure-footed. Because the second you have that on, I think they were talking about like prime sure-footed may only count for non-self stuff. So like if
they could. That's the next changes they might consider doing, where they just take away prime sure-footed from
I feel that if they did that, instantly Prime Sure-Footed would just become trash and no one would want it.
Could
Yeah,
be. Could be.
like, yeah. Well, considering they've already added in systems like, oh, if I get pulled by a scorpion, I can use a melee weapon to cut the rope, or I can bullet jump to rip them over, or they could do all sorts of stuff. But it just feels like, well, you're kind of making this mod redundant already. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, but I don't think what they've announced will be enough. So, but anyway, at least they're working at it. That's the important thing.
Indeed.
And I think Wukong is like, yeah, that was needed. That was very much needed.
Yes. Then, so moving on to the stuff you're saying
Steel
about
Path relics.
Steel Path relics, right? That's why I want to get those out of the way. This one.
Okay.
I think this is silly.
Okay. Why?
So this is part of their fix to, people are doing low-level relics. The reason I'm wanting to do that is to open the relic. I want to do it as quick as possible. That's why when capture comes up, it is the one you pick. It is spammed. Capture, 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 capture. And it doesn't matter that they put the Steel Path, because
I wanna interject real quickly. That is a matter of preference, because I do know people that don't like coming in and out of the missions. Sometimes people like, no, I want to do survival, right?
Oh,
or
fair. There might be some people who do it, but they want the goal is to crack,
to get the reward.
Yeah, they're trying to crack the relics. That is the goal here. So what? Okay, so we need to do Steel Path. How do we improvise Steel Path? How about we give it a 5% buff to rarer stuff permanently?
Sure.
Yep.
I mean, I was thinking of just adding a 0 to the void tracers.
No. I want to. It needs to go beyond that, because that's nice. But I still just go do the easier, quicker version. If it's like Steel Path, this is harder, it's more difficult, right? Then give me some reward. 5% more, a higher rate of drops on the rare ones, taking out the lower ones. Maybe 5% is too much. I don't know, but just if it said that there was a boost, a significant boost or a decent boost, not just like, well, we'll give you 1% more chance at raise. That's enough. That seems a bit cheap.
So you're going from, I think a maxed out, a radiant relic is a 10% chance to get a rare. So you're going from 10% to 15%.
Yeah.
That seems like a substantial difference to me.
It does.
It doesn't necessarily sound it, but you're going from a 1 in 10 chance to a 1 in...
Exactly. I'll haggle down to 4% increase if need be.
No. I think 5 is good.
Oh, yeah, but I'd happily go on a 4, but no lower than 4.
Fair.
But I would like to see that change, because that's what I'm doing. So instead, they looked at it and gone like, but we'll give you more steelies. What can I buy with steelies? Where do I go for that?
Umbral Former.
Where do I go for that? Is it the relay? I forget.
Teshin.
Who?
Teshin.
Who's that?
Ghost Teshin.
Who's this? Ghost toilet?
Ghost toilet. Gotta go to the ghost toilet.
I'm gonna go see a ghost toilet. Okay.
You gotta go see a ghost toilet. It has two katana props.
Do I have to go to the Steel Path one?
No. No. You just. I don't think there is Steel Path relays. It's just the one.
Good point.
Fast travel.
Oh, look, there's a toilet room.
Yeah. Ghost toilet for the ghost. The most ghost.
He's not.
I like how. No, they changed that a long time ago. There you go.
I can get a Veiled Riven Scyther,
a
Zor Riven mod, some
the armor which he always has.
Oh, do I already have that? I already have that. I didn't know I had that. Wow. Okay. Kuva, primary arcane adapter. Okay, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I don't have many steel essences, but I don't do many. Oh, stance former, and a ephemera. I don't.
What else?
Oh, is there more?
Glyphs.
Hang on, there's scroll down. Oh, okay. We've got another ephemera. That's expensive. We got Teshin statues. We got glyphs. T-set. And a mod.
Yeah.
Counterbalance.
So it's like there is stuff. Isn't that one of the PvP mods?
Probably.
I don't know what that is, but anyway, like the whole point is that you got all this stuff in the Steelies, so you're just making Steelies easier to get. But are you putting any more stuff in Steelies?
Yeah.
Right? Are you
Yeah.
giving any more stuff to Teshin? If
Oh,
you're not,
but
then
yeah, but you see, Drew, it helps me. I can get them relic packs, and then I can craft more 3 random relics from doing all these extra steelies, because each one will be what 3 steelies. So I'll have to do 3, and each one gives 3. So I'll get 9 steelies, which isn't even enough to keep me just playing relics. That could at least be something. If it at least gave you this to keep buying 3 relics, so it would be an eternal relic open.
that might always be there.
No, it is always there. No, man, if this cost 9. Because
Yeah.
you gain 3 bonus steelies per mission on doing it in Steel Path, yeah?
Why would you gain 3?
You get 3 bonus ones, that's what they said.
No,
Yeah.
3 per mission.
Yeah, 3 per mission, yeah. And so if this costs 9,
I think you only see 1 acolyte in a capture.
relic you crack will also contain 1 steel essence, which may make
2.
this the best way to gain fire essence, granting an average of 3 per mission.
Unsure about that.
I thought it was 3 bonus. So you're saying that you have to kill the not only will acolyte spawn uses any relic. Oh god, I thought it was just craft the relic, get 3 steel essences.
No.
That's gonna take ages.
Yeah, you're only gonna get 1.
That's even worse than I thought.
Yeah.
Right, no, this is terrible. This is so basically giving you 1 steel essence. I mean, like, oh, but obviously acolytes can spawn it. Acolytes can spawn any mission. I can just do any mission for them.
They're better to do on the god. Is it incursion? No, fuck, it's not incursions. Okay, can you go back to your set?
I can't remember. I don't know if I have them. I know what you mean. You mean Steel Path assignments or.
So go. No, you should have access to them.
I don't know.
So click on the alerts. Scroll down. Is it not the alerts? Is there another icon there? I can't see. Because you got this weird red shenanigans going on.
I like red. Nope.
What's the thing on the far left? No, left more. Is that a quest?
Yeah. Wave Rider.
I don't know.
What do you mean? I know what you mean.
Fuck, I'm just gonna look it up on the wiki.
What it's for. But either way, while you're doing that, I just think this is completely the wrong logic. They should be giving a better. I'm doing relics. That's what I'm doing right now. I want
incursions. They are incursions.
I want to do. That's my job. That's my goal. I want to get some ducats. I want to keep opening up relics. Doing them on Steel Path will take longer per run. Yes, I'll get some steel essences. Well, a very limited amount of steel essences. That's pitiful. Being like, oh, I have to stay in the mission till an acolyte spawns. What's the upper count on that? Isn't it like 14 minutes?
No. It's like on average, it's like 5 minutes.
Right, but on captures, if I'm doing them quick,
you'll typically get one.
Yeah, but I have to wait 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes. Yes, but it's competing with. If I have a capture, hold
on,
a lith capture.
Hold on. Multiple acolytes can spawn each mission in roughly 3 to 7 minute intervals.
Right.
This includes non-endless mission types such as exterminate and landscapes, regardless of whether a bounty is currently active.
Yeah, but why would I do that when I could run 7 lith missions in the same time if a capture pops up?
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
It's just like
they should give a drop bonus to the relic, not steelies.
Like it might sound dumb, but genuinely, if you were to add a 0 to the number of oh god, what's the name of the damn thing? Void traces you get I would be there in a heartbeat because I'm sick to death.
It would help at least.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of people out there that can manage their void traces, right? Really, really well. But I am not one of those people, and nor do I have the patience or the inclination to sit there and work out how many void traces I have. I would much rather have a good chance of being able to radiant a relic each run I do than just sit on my ass and like do bog standard relics. I get bored just running regular void traces, right?
I do get bored, but at the same time, I know that I don't have to. It doesn't take that long to do because it's just a limited thing and then it's done.
No, but you have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
When you run out of void traces, you have to go get more void traces. So you can't take radiant relics with you.
Yeah, and then I just yeah.
So why not actually go, hey, look, maybe a multiple of 10 is too high, right? Maybe a multiple of 5. But the whole point is that I can run 3, 4, I don't know how many void trace missions. I'm allowing the comments the opportunity to say, on average, I get enough void traces to radiant a relic in this number, right? Please fill in the blank. I know it's more than 2, right? On average. And it's just, I just find it exhausting. I get bored. So anyway. So I think, yes, give the plus 5% bonus to relic cracking and give extra void traces.
Yeah.
That will be reason enough for people to run void relics.
Yeah.
By choice. I personally think. On Steel Path. Yeah. Not just a Steely. I don't think that's nearly enough. Right? Again, audience, correct us if you think we're wrong. But yeah, matter of opinion. Anyway, should we continue on with the Veilbreaker quest?
Yeah.
Right. When you begin the quest, you now have a new roommate in the Drifter camp, Carl 175, which we saw the asset earlier. Once per week, you can play one of his missions, expanding his following in his camp. Carl will be customizable, and his followers will add to his camp. Missions will all be based on saving his brothers, and every mission will have secrets you can find to unlock more cosmetics. Sorry. This is where you will acquire Styanax after login, so the login bonus has ended. Archon hunts are the Warframe gameplay. Weekly hunts will be similar to sorties, but will contain bonuses and curses for you. For example, no self-revives, no consumables, but bonus ability strength, health, and damage for specific weapons. This can be co-op or solo, but they are meant to be tougher content than sorties. There will be new flow. So there will be new flow and new mechanics for hunting the Archons themselves. So there will be a twist compared to the all-out chaos that happened when you last took on an Archon with a Warframe. Hunts reward Archon shards, which will interact with your helminth. You'll be able to slot up to 5 shards in each Warframe to provide buffs. There will be 3 different shards, red for offensive, blue for defensive, and yellow for utility, with the basic and Tau Forged versions that are stronger. Each will give you buffs such as bonus health, energy, and so on. This is basically a permanent upgrade system for your Warframe for as long as the shard is slotted. Removing shards does not destroy it, but it does use Helminth resources. So, do you want to tackle them as, like, I don't know if you have anything much to say for the Carl part, or if you just want to go straight into the...
We've discussed the crystals, so we don't need to discuss that again. There's just the
I
Carl
was
part, which is...
I was thinking more of the Archon Hunt part, but okay.
Well, yeah, that's this. So, I don't like how the sentients have just seemed to just come back for Carl to kill. This is finally more sentient content. They were barely in the new war. Barely. Yep. They were on the periphery. They did not. They were beaten out by Archons, which is something we've never seen before. And even the Archons were kind of like of Narma, and Narma was the real threat. The sentients were barely mentioned. Barely did anything. They finally were there, and this was supposed to be their quest. They had no agency of their own. They had no impetus of their own. They were just waiting. There was Narma lackeys occasionally.
Yeah.
Even then, they were very rare. There wasn't that many of them. So to just have them now as like Carl's punching bag is just wrong. Just don't like it.
I feel that the only part that had the sentience was the very beginning when Teshin and your Warframe board oh god, Parageum, Paragoth, Para something with a name. And at the very end, when you're in your Necromech trying to catch up to Lotus and Ballas, those the only two parts of the entire narrative I can think of having sentience in them. The rest of it was Narma.
Yep. So now they're back. Oh, they're back now, and Carl needs to kill them because they're randomly collecting Grineer for no apparent reason. And they're holding them in the ships, and he has to go to the ships, and these ancient sentient vessels have loads of hidden secrets for Carl to find. He's the only one who can spot the green cross that's been put here to be like, hey, Carl, look in here. The Synth's like, I don't know, it's green paint. What does it mean?
Yeah.
So annoying.
But you don't have any... do you have any reservations of the fact that you get to play as Carl?
Nope, I love that. It's brilliant.
Okay.
No issues at all with it. I've seen the customization because if you look carefully in the Tenno stuff, and there's going to be some cool stuff. Sometimes he'll be like wearing Corpus gear. It's cool, and playing him as content, I really think maybe they're testing the waters with this because hopefully it could be quite some decent content because they will be able to balance off what our Carls are at versus against what our Warframes are at, which is just ridiculous by this point, and no one really knows. So
yeah. Okay.
The only issue is the Archons. I hope the Archons get maybe a bit of background explanation. Why are there animals? Why is animal?
Yeah.
Apart from that,
so
we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, so I want to talk about the Archon hunts. We only get to do these once a week.
Weekly sortie is kind of cool concept, though.
Well, only if someone had actually previously come up with it in, I don't know, some form of podcast or something.
Oh, yeah, such a shame when that kind of stuff just,
Yeah, I hate the fact that it's taken DE this long. No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna be bitter about it. My concern is that this will have the same amount of duration of gameplay as a sortie, right? That could be done in an afternoon or like in an hour, and then you have to wait a week for the next one.
Yes, I am not a big fan of weekly content when it's delivered like that.
Yes. My personal preference is that if they are doing this weekly, maybe... Do you remember Shadow Debt? No, not Shadow Debt. Was it Shadow Debt? So where you had to hunt down the acolytes in the star chart, right? If it is akin to that, where you have to find the Archon in the star chart and you have a week to do it in, I am fine with that.
That'd be cool. But those worked on player power as well, as in players, once a player
found it, right? So maybe it's a case of, you do a mission on a planet and then instantly you're told whether or not the Archon is on that planet. Then you have to do the missions on the planet to find out whether or not the Archon is on that mission type. Yeah? So you get the idea. So you're narrowing it down. Yeah? So it could take you, I don't know how many tile sets there are. Is it 12? Or whether or not it's one. There's a big range, and you can luck out on where it is for you this week.
Yeah.
I am a fan of that only because I don't like the idea of like, oh, I've done it now. Oh, I've done it now. I'm just gonna wait. I'm done it now. It's done. Right? It just feels bad. If it's a case of each stage takes an hour and there's 3 stages and you can do them over multiple days, I'm fine with that. I wouldn't really want to do, or if it's 5 stages and each one takes an hour, I really wouldn't want a stage to be longer than an hour. I mean, some players, you have your ability to endurance run and things. An hour is about my absolute limit because then I get really fatigued. But like again, allow me to spread it over multiple days. I can do it in an afternoon. I'm like, this is oh god, what was the Earth event with Vahek, the plague one, introduced Oberon?
Oh, Tethra's Doom.
That sounds about right. Yeah, it's just Tethra's Doom all over again, where it was supposed to be a 3-week event and it was done in an afternoon. It's supposed to cover in, I think it was Tethra's Doom.
It was no, Tethra's Doom was the one with the Memorial Cause.
Oh crap! Whichever one was the introduction of Oberon on the Earth tile set with the plague goobers. Operation Plague Goobers.
Plague Goobers. Got Spear.
No.
Arid Fear, Buried Debts with
No.
Doom, False Threat, Eyes of Blight, Breeding Grounds, The Pacifism Defect, Shadow Debt, Tube Men of Rigor,
No.
Gate Crash, Stingstone, Cryotic Front, Emma Spawn, Mutants Incursions, Hostile Mergers, Orphix
No.
Venom, Plague Star, Scarlet Spear. No. Have a quick.
I mean, I can tell you it was December 2013.
Category events. Let's just get all this. December 2013.
Yep.
The Cicero Crisis.
That's the one. Yeah. So they pulled you. Yeah. So the Cicero Crisis, like it was supposed to be a 3-week long event, and people did it in an afternoon.
Yeah. It was best scores, wasn't it? And then that was the one where they tried to do best scores, but then they had to hand out a special toxin because people had found a way to bug it. And
yeah, like you could inject 4 toxins at once, and
yeah,
it just massively bugged the whole thing. And so they had to introduce a new toxin that was the bestest best toxin, and it just ruined everything. So
I'm just gonna pause for a sec. Oh, there's actually so moving on.
Right, so we're going to just go straight into the roundup now, or
no, it's not a roundup of the thing. There's roundup points.
Oh yeah, I know. These are points of interest from Thaylien. Carrier may finally be able to release the original Zephyr Deluxe because he's giving the task to team rather than keeping it to himself. The new cast is still settling in, and Reb is giving us a few more talking points about content that has been promised and not yet delivered. Raids/trials. The news is that there is no news. Reb wants to bring it back, but it will not be until after updates like Veilbreaker. It's also update Drifter as well. So the very Paradox. So we're not seeing trials till next year, which I think is the following point. Part of us taking a look over the content.
Next year is when they would be able to start thinking about it. It's not.
Oh yeah.
Not confirmed yet that we're definitely getting trials.
I think they've said that it's. Oh yes. You're right. Pablo has taken a look over the content, but it will not be something that they can look into until next year. Crossplay testing is coming this year, with a workshop announcing the actual dates and limitations coming soon. After the testing is done and successful, cross save will be worked on. Mark Zuckerberg will not be stealing your Warframe account. I have no idea what the heck you just bought. Prime Resurgence will be updated and is coming back at some point. The semi-public test cluster is going to return, but it is a logistics problem that conflicts with cross-platform simultaneous releases. Since it makes releases more difficult, testing on a public cluster was very difficult to keep up, but the team wants to bring it back. And Zaku Deluxe is en route to be released sometime this year, probably the Deviri update. So, yep. That's it. That's the longest stream ever, as Thaylien has pointed out. And we have done it in an hour and a half.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So overall, though, let's do a quick overall thing of it. There's some positive stuff, and it was nice to see them go into, we're doing changes for this, we're going to do this and this is good. I am optimistic for Veilbreaker.
Yeah.
However, what actual new... No, see, this is... Maybe if they did more patches, this would be fine, but... So... I don't know what's actually new in Veilbreaker. Maybe functions and systems at the very least, like the Carl thing, but, you know, we can play as Carl before, but for a quest, and so we're going to get Carl stuff. But it looked like, from the DevStream, we're going to do stuff on sentient ships and other stuff, freeing people. Well, that's all assets that are in the game already. That's not new assets. Loads of it was just quality of life improvements, which is nice. But what
I think
actually...
I think there's going to be a big update with being able to play as Carl, right? It might sound a bit dumb. It might sound that, well, you just swap Carl for a Warframe for Carl, and then you should be able to. But I think the problem was that Carl's model was very limited to only exist for a very short period of time in the new war. So they probably have to redo the model so that it would even accommodate additional cosmetics.
I mean, that's fine, but so making a model, yeah, that's an addition thing. Okay. Yeah, and we'll maybe the Carl content will be meaty. I was kind of hoping my hopes were pinned on that, but then when they said, "Oh, but it's basically a once a week thing you do,"
well, I think
I was like,
yeah, I kind of agree with you on that sentiment, because I think if there is enough there to do, if there's enough meat to the system,
but
I think
maybe, but a once a week thing sounds like something you'll do once a week, and so they're not going to make you do 2 hours of content every day. I mean, Sorties
no, that's not what I mean. What I mean is they may turn around and go, like, if enough players turn around and say, like, no, we want more Carl, give us more Carl, they may turn around and reduce that once a week down to once a day.
I doubt it. I doubt that. It's
quite possible.
Doing something, it screams to me, striking something out so it's once a week. And also not like giving you like, oh yeah, there'll be one main quest once a week, but you can do as many of these sub-quests, but they don't progress you or something. Maybe. But it screams to me of, we want to stretch this content out.
See, it screams to me that it's based on an archaic system with clan missions only being once a week, with Maru missions only being once a week. That's what it screams to me.
But this has rotating stuff and things, and it's like, well, why
so does
that? No.
So does Tashin.
What do you mean, so Tashin?
Well, Tashin's what's called the shop has rotating stuff.
This is missions. This is not. It's like, it's not a shop. Yeah, they've got that, a shop, but it's like the actual gameplay content, the playing of Carl, you get a jetpack, all this stuff. It you know, I assume you upgrade Carl, get some more stuff for Carl. The fact that is once a week, I'm just like, that screams heavily to me, we need to make this content last from September to December.
Quite possibly. I don't think that's good if that's the case. Yeah. If the missions last a while, sure, but doing it like you can only do it once per week when people have been craving for Carl longer than
Yeah. If there was like
you know.
the once a week thing, and then there's other missions which are just generic hunt missions which gain you a little bit of rep maybe every day, just a side thing, then yeah, maybe. But the you know, they're the same every week. They're like just, you know, basic missions, just like Carl on the plains, Carl on Fortuna, and you just do some basic stuff.
I would have thought Archon hunts just once a week would have been enough to prolong the content until December.
Yeah, it's a once a week thing, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
But you see those, yeah, you know, we'll have to wait and see. We'll see how it goes.
All in all, I was actually quite happy for this dev stream.
Oh, yeah.
Felt they had a lot to say. A part of me kind of wonders, like, well, could you not done this for 2 dev streams and done another one in a couple of weeks' time?
You make a very good point there. Would I have liked? Well, maybe it was like because a lot of it was like addressing AoE meta, big changes, and if they just made the stream about that, maybe people would have been annoyed. But yeah, I agree with you. Maybe they should have taken even just a third of this and kept it for 2 weeks, so that I would have enjoyed every 2 weeks stuff. I mean, 2 weeks is maybe we'll still get another one in 2 weeks. Maybe there was even more stuff. Even more stuff to come. That's the next big thing. Yeah, when's the next dev stream? If it's in a 2 weeks' time or a month's time, then that'd be interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if part of the reason why the old crew, right, the veteran crew, wanted to go to once a month was specifically because they found it so disruptive whenever they were going to do one of these dev streams. Like, you know, I find that with my own personal work, whenever I have a day of meetings, I know I'm going to get sweet fuck all done. So I always try to get all my meetings for the week done in one day, right? So then the rest of the week, I've got the freedom to actually get on with my work and get stuff done.
And also, I do find that if I have, in my own experience, when you have like a meeting once a, I used to hate meetings that are once a week because you don't plan your work to, you know, your overarching projects to get them done. You plan so that you've got something to show next week.
Yeah. Yeah. And oddly enough, one of the biggest problems I had with one of my old jobs when I was working at the University of Birmingham was like, I'd have 2 to 3 hour long meetings every day. Yeah. When you have so many meetings, you can't get anything done.
Yeah.
It's like, why haven't you done this yet? I'm still in this meeting. That's why I haven't done it. You know, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's why it turned into once a month. So if they're willing to do once a fortnight again, I think that would actually bring some fresh air back. So fresh life back into Warframe. But anywho, I was happy with this dev stream. I hope other people were happy with it too.
Yep, I would like to hear people's feedback on this one because there's a lot of points to cover. I mean, I at some points I just let you rattle off points and I don't think I addressed them because there's so many. We could take these I could have said more on all the different points so far.
We even skipped the whole primary, secondary, sorry, the AoE thing. We skipped the whole AoE meta changes.
Yeah. Now, not just in case people get this far and think, oh, they're skipping that thing. Not because I don't think they're important, but I think people are going to just those are going to be what most people take from it, and we're not the best people to really explain about it. Quickly though, did you feel it was enough? Just
no.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
No.
So at least
I think it felt like it was very stationary. I think the changes to the ammo were to, oh god, what's the name of the damn thing? Incentivize players to swap between primary and secondary.
Oh, I have 1 point on that. Yeah, you keep going.
If you've got the whole incentive to swap between primary and secondary, that must mean you're picking up enough ammo for the alternative weapon to make sure that by the time you swap to that weapon, you have ammo to use.
Yeah.
Which means that ammo mutation is still 100% viable.
Yep.
Right?
The one thing that got me is they did this whole change thing to like reduce you holstering the weapon and unholstering the new weapon. Just remove the holstering animation completely. Just have it that your character just weapons appear in the hands, weapon appears in thing. I don't. What? It's almost like they're like, oh yeah, but we like the unholstering animation. Just if they feel that changing between weapons instantly is going to make a difference on people using different weapons, then just make them appear in your hands.
Yeah.
In fact, that would be more interesting to me than, because I watched it, and yes, I know it's an improvement, but it kind of be cool if just you know, the other weapons the one they showed, in my opinion, just looks like a bug now. Because
you're not wrong.
If you look carefully, you see the let's say they're holding a rifle, and then you'll see the silhouette of it holstered just instantaneously, and then they unholster a pistol, and then it's just like, wait, what? It just looks like a bugged animation now. So I would say just get rid of it altogether and just have it that you just swap between it. So at least then it'd be like, right, I'm using my AoE gun, pistols, instantaneous pistols appear in your hands.
But is that really the whole, like, oh no, I can't swap between pistols and rifles because it takes too long to swap between them? Is that really the reasoning behind it?
Yeah, I don't know if that is a big thing. Yeah, so that's why I'm confused.
To me, it's just like, now, why would I bother? I mean, okay, we're getting rid of ammo mutation. So you can't, like, okay, fine. So I will have the Tonkor and I'll have the Spore Lacer. Or I'll have the Spore Lacer pistol and I'll have the Spore Lacer rifle. Right? What have you achieved? So it feels like it needs testing. That's the biggest thing. It feels like it needs testing. But
we don't go too much effort on that because, we could do an episode just on those changes. So, yeah, I'm sure people in the comments will be much more knowledgeable than us about it. So, please let us know what your thoughts are on it.
Yeah. I'd actually be really keen to see what people say next week about the AoE changes. Beyond whether or not it's good or bad. Like, what makes it good? What makes it bad?
Yeah, so, saying, oh, I thought this was good or bad, give us detail. Detail is more interesting than just like and did not like.
Like, in the great words of Saitama, in 20 words or less.
Yeah. I don't mind long. No, I'm the one that reads it. I'll break it down for you.
I know, but, like, keep it succinct.
To the point. Yep, right. Let's, I think that's it for the dev stream.
Yes, that's it for the topics. So let's move on to the graphs. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, God, I have to zoom in. Right. So the first graph.
First graph. Click the. There we go.
Cool. Do you want to get rid of the topics?
Okay. Yeah.
Thing? So the first graph is really, really simple. I just want to know what people's opinions were. If Xeno starts streaming, would you prefer? So what platform would you prefer to watch on? YouTube or Twitch? 62.5% said YouTube. 37.5% said Twitch.
I think I saw one for each in the comments as well. King and Nightmare said, if you may, Twitch stream would be best because YouTube chat is shite, lol. And Peter Grover said, I vote YouTube stream. I just rarely ever watch Twitch, and if it's on Twitch, I need a heads up.
Yeah, it's difficult. Like,
he would stream on this. It'd be a same day kind of thing. As each week. He wouldn't be like.
No. I would not set. I don't want to set it. I really want to keep it loosey goosey.
No, but if you I mean that it'd be like you'd probably do it at the weekends, if at all. Like, you wouldn't have impromptu. I'm gonna stream this Tuesday night, or I'm gonna stream.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Genuinely, that's what I want to do. I want to keep it completely loosey goosey.
Don't expect repeat content.
Yeah, exactly. Don't expect it.
I meant sorry. Don't expect repeat customers.
No, that's fine. If people,
because I'm like that as well. I'm terrible for finding people on Twitch. If it was Twitch,
I would much rather build something to, hey, make sure I'm about to go start streaming. Do you want to come watch? And again, like we've already said, why don't I stream on both? But I wanted to get the opinion of which one. So anyway, should we move to the next fun? Should ability spam, as LOZ depicted, be prevented for Void Fisher missions?
Spam?
6, huh?
Well,
do you not remember what you did last week?
Oh, I remember what I did, but like preventing it because of how you described there of ability spam, just preventing. I'm with the nose.
Yes, we both are with the nose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 6.7% said yes, and 93.3% said no. And Loz and I are both firmly with the nose on this.
Yep.
Next was have you encountered the problem as described in topic 1? 26.7% said no, and 73.3% said yes. So I'm honestly surprised. I've done a hell of a lot of relics with puppies, and I've never encountered this. Like, hell of a lot. Like, hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one thing I've done more than the sun.
I
So,
think if you went
yeah.
back a few episodes of 10 o'clock, you would actually find an episode where I do find people doing it. I find it on the exterminates on the ship on the Grenier Sea Lab tile set. I do remember playing and seeing people do that kind of stuff.
Okay, fair enough then.
But I haven't done it yet. Yeah, terrible.
Next graph.
Oh.
All right. How do you feel about the Warframe concept Typhus? I don't know what that percentage. 6.7% said neutral. Sorry, negative. Sorry, that's negative. 33.3% said neutral, and 60% said positive. It's fair. Like I feel that there's some changes needed to be made, like the RNG elements behind it. But yeah, I'm totally down for that. Next, we have how do you feel about Warframe abilities? Abilities are supposed to be that are directly linked to the faction they interact with. Apparently, I put Warframe abilities are directly linked to. I can't spell for shit. Apparently, yeah. So where are we? 26.7% said negative. 33.3% said positive, and 40% said neutral. So yeah, I'm kind of in the negative boat on this. I don't like the idea that the ability changes based on the faction I'm fighting. Maybe enemy types, like, you know, this enemy type is a heavy, or this enemy type is a medium or a light or whatever. I'm fine with that. Not when it's an actual specific faction. Yeah. What are you with that?
Yeah, I think it'd be tricky because it'd be hard to balance them. You'd be like, oh yeah, this frame's great when I'm playing against an infested, but the Grenier buff, it's just so useless. I can't find any way to use it, you know.
Fair. Right, and then the last graph, which is how would you improve Typhus? 0% said whenever you kill an enemy as Typhus, a banner would appear saying, "Would you like to know more?" 0% said this. I'm flummoxed. Right?
Would you like to know more?
20% said, you know what the reference is, yeah, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Right, I thought if anyone's going to get it, it was you. Right, so 20% said needs Zerg Rush mechanic. 33% said as Typhus stands still, he generates a noise like a cicada that passively attracts all enemies to him. And then 46.7% said Alad V should replace Lotus as Typhus's handler, constantly whispering in your ear, giving you doubt of your actions, eventually becoming infected with a weird spider person, only to convince you to build a time machine to go back in time to take over the Earth with his weird spider babies. Wow, when you say it out loud, the plot of Lost in Space, the plot of the Lost in Space movie is dumb.
It's so dumb.
Sorry, I was typing that legitimately. I was just like, wow, this movie description is dumb. I enjoyed the movie, but it's still dumb. Anyway, right, so that is it for the graphs. And only 16 responses with this week, which is kind of surprising.
The views are also lower than 100, but I just want to say to everyone, we do 10 o'clock because we enjoy it and we love the game.
Yep.
You know, we used to get 1,000, I think, for some episodes, you know.
Long time ago.
It's also that's why I did that thing saying about how we need to change as well, because it's maybe with dev streams coming back it'll help, and maybe if there's more dev streams, but Warframe just, I'm not saying Warframe's dying or anything, but it needs to, the community needs to change to the way it is. In theory, maybe we should only do 10 o'clock once a month kind of thing, but I like doing it weekly, so I don't mind. It's part of my routine now at this point. But the way the content is designed is that, I mean, or at least we feed off the community a bit, but there is not new stuff, and you shouldn't expect new stuff. In fact, it's like the game is, there is new stuff and stuff to talk about once a month. So that's how it is.
Well, this is why in part I wanted to get the whole community concept stuff, because a lot of the topics, a lot of the stuff from Reddit or the forums was just talking about the same one problem.
Well,
look at how many weeks we had. The meta is a problem.
Yeah, but that's because it is not that they can't even conceptualize a change.
Do you not know where to go?
It's up, isn't it? It's gonna be
no. It's
up.
Down. It's down. Go down. Turn around. Go down there.
I would have got there. I would have got there. Eventually.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
I was very confused to how you were confused.
I'm always confused, Drew.
Anyway,
that's my secret. I'm always confused.
I'm always confused. Good shout. Good shout. Anyway, should we move on to the supporter questions?
We will when I get my be more reactant. Then at least then if I get pulled out of the mission, I will.
We got it.
Did I? There we go. Okay, cool. Let's get to extraction, but not giving me a timer. Very strange.
Well, only if there's only 2 of them there, it won't trigger. Yeah, you have to have a majority before it will start the timer.
Right. Okay, I'll just sit here then. Right, we do this. Okay. Oh, and hang on. Pause. And then we are on to supporter questions, yeah? Yep. And cool. Right, first we have Zrugal. Before we start the supporter questions, I'm going to ask everyone to make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it if you can. It really helps. This font is called Canadian Curly. You've heard of WoW Classic, but would you play Warframe Classic for novelty? Also, did I ask that before? I would absolutely play 2013 Warframe Classic.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can enter Last Gasp. Oh my god. Oh, it's ended. Anyway, let's get back to that. Where was I? There we go. So, ask for deep lore. If Spider-Man got the way he is by being bitten by a spider, then if I stick a fork in an electric outlet, will I become Volt? Asking for a friend.
No. A electric outlet wielding a fork needs to bite you. Duh.
No, you need an electric eel. Huh?
Is it? What's
in the name? Eel? Electric eels. They're eels that can zap you.
I mean, actually, I think what you need is a voltmeter, and just get the prongs of a voltmeter and just stab it in your arm.
Please do none of these
Please don't do that.
Please do none of these things. So no, ask for
that will have no impact on when you just have holes in your arm.
Minion of Xeno says, with the new Stanknax reveal trailer, we have a crossover with your other podcast. We have a crossover with your podcast? Oh.
Yeah, this the anime.
The work of studio Passion Paris Production, who worked on trailers for Guild Wars, games like Endling, Extinction is Forever, and even the episode Ice of the show Love, Death and Robots. Given this punchy, colourful style, would you like to see them create even more of these trailers and animations based on old Warframe adventures, or would you prefer to see more studios take a turn? I'd tell you what I'd like them to do.
What?
Quick 5-minute episodes doing the story of previous operations.
Oh, damn, Sean. Damn, Sean. That's a mother. Damn, Sean. I love that idea. I was actually going to say the old Lavarian and so the Lavarian entries for existing warframes because the plot's already been done and established for them. Things like Nova's plot would be great as one, but nah,
the
son,
problem with that is it kind of invalidates the Lavarian because you just watch the video.
No, if they put the video in the Lavarian.
Yeah, but then you run through the Lavarian and just watch the video.
So
reading bad. No, operations.
No, it's listening. There's no reading. It's all audio.
No, but these people are doing video.
Yeah, I know. No, the Lavarian is currently all audio. There is no reading.
There's deaf people.
Have you not been to the Lavarian?
True deaf people exist.
Oh my god, you are so uncultured.
True deaf.
I can't believe you've not been to the Lavarian.
Not being a big.
Next question.
For the first time, a DevStream ran on to a full 2 hours. This is also a nice crossover into your other podcast, which has a habit of running long with streams only being once. With streams only being once a month. Do you think that longer dev streams would actually compensate for that a little? Yeah, which would you want? 2 hour massive dev streams every once a month, or dev stream every 2 weeks? Hell, do you know I'd be satisfied if they could stick to one dev stream a month. I'm not even.
I would be satisfied if they did 2 hour dev streams like they did today, once a month.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd be happy if they did 1 hour dev streams once a month. To be honest, I'm not greedy.
I think the problem. I want to stipulate the as today because it was so content heavy. They put so much.
It was no, it wasn't content heavy. It was quality of life heavy. It was quality of life heavy.
No, regardless. Well, that's still content, right? That we've had too many streams where they've had nothing to say.
Well, right? No, they've had something to say, but Steve's been like, I'm being gagged.
No, I'm not blaming. Okay, I'm not blaming Steve. But
no, I'm not blaming him at all. It's just that was what they were planning to do. They wanted to keep it all
fair,
close to the chest till the end. It wasn't not blaming anyone. Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for the support questions.
Yep. So I will go back and go to the community responses from last week.
To hit buttons.
Oh, I need to go. Are those gonna? Oh no, it's a meme. Sorry, that's why. Yes, there we go. So Trex Paddock did a really good thing for us. So guys, cannibalistic cannibalism, parasitic parasitism. Does that help?
Yes.
Thank you, Trex. Then I did the King of Nightmare and Peter Graver ones. JJ24 and Nazareth points out the black mist that I was seeing. I was like, what is this? It was probably a Neja helmet ability copied onto the Wukong. And yeah, I think it was a black color. Black color does. If it was like fire, it would make sense. But black and white sometimes do weird things with abilities.
Okay.
And Burrito Devil says, do 3 topics. 2 for game discussions and 1 for fan concepts. It's better for people who want an actual discussion.
We're going
we used to do 3 topics.
The issue is that
before the pandemic.
What?
Before the pandemic, we used to do 3 topics an episode.
Yeah. We all try to do 2 topics and 1 concept. The issue is that honestly, a lot of the topics, a lot of Reddit posts and things, they're all around the same thing, right? You know, every like they said during the dev stream, Pablo was getting DMs asking to nerf name a thing.
AoE meta?
Yeah, the AoE meta, right? Everyone is so fixated on the AoE meta. That's all people want to talk about. We can try. We're going to try. But who knows what's going to happen? Not work. You guys might go, no, why are you doing 2 of the same topic? It's the only option.
I'm sure. If it comes to that, yeah, I might step in and find emergency topics if need be, but come on. It can't be that
We will try.
Right. But anyway, Tobiah does work hard for us finding topics, so I just want to say thank you, Tobiah. I don't think we've said that in a while, so thank you, Tobiah. And we'll see. We will try. We are trying to improve. Always trying to improve. But let's move on. So that's it for the community responses that I wanted to bring up.
Actually, just to add in, Loz has asked for this as well. Like, this isn't just one person's asked for it. Like, Loz has asked for us to do this, so we are trying.
Yeah. So we move on now to the memes of the week. I do feel it was a bit slim picking this week, so it's not my favourite memes, but it's what we got. So, all these memes come from the r/memeframe subreddit. Links to all of the memes are in the description of the video, along with the secret meme of the week, which is a short video. And this one, I think someone made a quick little SFM thing. It was not bad. It was alright. It's a good flowing thing, but don't look at the clouds. Except there are clouds. Right. Moving on anyway. So, the first one is, I don't want strength, I thrive in my weakness. I killed a man. And you? 200% strength Nidus. I cast Parasitic Link on a Speed Nova.
Does that work?
Yeah. It'll spare... The abilities... They're both gain an ability strength buff. Based on Nidus's strength.
I thought there was a limit to how slow enemies can get.
That's a Speed Nova, not a Slow Nova.
No, but... Oh, sorry, it's turning a Speed Nova into slow. No, because positive ability strength is slow.
Oh, is it?
Negative. So basically, what they're doing is they're actually turning a Speed Nova into a Slow Nova. Fair.
See what I mean by the memes? They're not as strong this week, I don't think.
No, I get it. I mean, you have to, have knowledge of how the fucking Nova works.
Right. Okay. Anyway,
I get it.
Oh, so the Speed Nova's building for negative power strength, and the Nidus is ruining their day by giving them power.
Giving them positive. Yes.
That's why they're in prison. Got it. Anyway, moving on to Beam 2. Just imagine the poor Grineer who had to report back after its entire division got wiped out by Ureli. My queens, it did a 6-720 flip nose grab and killed the entire platoon in the landing.
See, this I don't understand. Like, words was, I genuinely thought, like, it's like it did a 6-720 flip nose grab. Like, did a flip and then grabbed its own nose, not the nose of the skateboard.
Moving on.
Hey, I don't do skating.
Oh.
Tony Hawk's was not a thing in my day. Anyway.
Right. Pause. Right, sorry, fixed it. That was last week's meme. It was a good meme last week. This week, however, someone asked for Founders items to be released again. Howl all you want. It won't bring him back.
Yep. I like the fact that Excalibur Prime's in the tree. Yep.
Okay.
It's a good tree.
Meme number 4. You fool! You've activated my trap card. Undertow. Can you please not play Warframe like that? Me playing Hydroid. I play Tentacle Swarm, then activate Pilfering Swarm to gain 100% extra loot and end my turn.
Oh my god. Isn't that Undertow?
Chimeras live in chasms with their fountains.
Okay, moving on.
Meme number 5. I was right over you, for God's sake. Teammate always uses revive just as I'm about to heal them. A few deaths later. Teammate, please revive me. I'm out of revives. Me. Well, now I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it.
I see that so fucking often when someone self-revives while I'm trying to revive them.
Yeah,
that's why I have Vazarin. Yeah, try and fucking beat me now, bitch.
Well, if they die while running off at a mile away from you, that's the only thing they can do.
Oh my god.
And the final meme of the week is... I'd pay some Plat for standing. I'd pay some Plat for standing right now. Cove, 98,989 of 99,000. So rank 4 just about to be rank 5.
Yeah, and you got 15 hours to wait for the next one.
Pain.
Do you know what the show is? The bottom one.
This is that Boston thingy show that you tell me. No.
Unless you mean Brooklyn.
Yes. There we go.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That's the one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Which you tell me I need to watch.
Yeah, it's a good show. All right, so that is it for the memes. There's also the secret meme, and Loz gets all the memes from Reddit.
I was not impressed with the cultivation of meme this week. The crop was low. I'm very sad.
Do you you not want to promote the memes from?
They're hardworking people, but you know they have some.
No,
but when any farmer knows that you always have bad periods.
Yields.
Yeah, you can't. But that just feeds the next crop, so that greatness can come. It's not always going to be gold. Though I think number 5 was very good. The Pengu looking very angry. So there's always some waffles, but there should be 6. I should get 6 of those. You see, not 1 out of 5. So yes. But anyway, we will now move on to Xeno's community shoutouts.
All from Twitter. So the first one is an Anairos helm design by Vic.
Perhaps
I'd love to see an Anairos
helm. Yeah.
I'd love to see Anairos wear that.
I equally, just from what we've seen, that seems to me could fit in Soulframe.
That too. The second one is This is Warframe by Dasta Creations.
It needs a kick. Come on, man, it needs a kick.
It was going to happen. I mean, they even made memes of it like during the dev stream. It needs a kick. Next, we have Korra, Valkyria, and Protea by Narubon. Yep, Narubon.
Oh.
Yep. So that's Korra Prime, one of the new Valkyria deluxe skin, and Protea. I don't know if Protea actually has a deluxe. No, Protea doesn't have a deluxe skin yet because that was what they showed off today. Fourth community shout out is Clem's Dreamland. It's like Clem's Dreamland by Lucky Goblin. I don't know what I'm seeing.
Oh, I guess it is, yeah. Sometimes if you look up in the night sky, you'll see little Clem shooting by.
Yeah.
Don't even know what I'm looking at. It's madness.
Well, it feels like Kirby. But madness and drugs and probably too much Adventure Time or something. I don't know. Or Teen Titans Go. Anyway, so then we got Lavos Cuvel Alchemist by Dasta Creations.
I have just stared at this helmet. This helmet is just boss. It's just so weird.
It's massively captivated everyone.
Yeah, they've done a good job. Well, you could tell when Dee did the picture for that set, and it's just bam, that one is center stage.
Yeah. And then last is a Tenno skin, which is Necros Osiris by Owen Stickley. So this is very much a sentient-inspired Necros.
Yeah, there was a sentient-inspired line, wasn't there? They did Volt and Korra?
Mesa.
They
did. So D did them, right? But then there's Tenno ones as well.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what this is. And that is it for the community shout-outs. So we're at the end of the show. We're ever so slightly longer than the dev stream, but we come with memes.
We come every week.
We come every week with memes.
Yep.
And and that's it. Thank you very much, everyone, for sticking it out this long.
Yeah, I do feel this one that it's just so much to talk about. I don't even scratch the surface on some of them, even after talking about all that. So much to do. So be interesting to see what people feedback, and we'll be back next week with our normal way of maybe 2 topics and a concept, and maybe you'll do a different order for them. Who knows? But so we'll see everyone next week. Yeah.
Bye.
Say bye again.
Bye.